The charismatic Mr. Madron is the newest addition to Sanford School's English department.
What made me want to join the military after I got a bachelor's degree in philosophy? Well, the bachelor's degree in philosophy didn't really have anything to do with my decision to go into the military. That was sort of a predetermined sort of thing. And so knowing what I was going to do after I left, I decided to just pursue my passion. And eventually somebody just said, hey, why don't you just change your major to philosophy? You've done all the classes. So I did. And as it turned out, that was probably one of the most useful degrees I could have had in the military because of all of the ethical decisions that tend to come up in that line of work. So I found myself using it pretty often. Towards the end of my 20 years, I was trying to think about what I wanted to do when I grew up. And I decided to try to get a master's degree in English. And it's very difficult when you're living a deployment type of schedule. So I had friends that were going to Afghanistan every 6 months, and I was going all over the place. So the best option that I had was to try to find a reputable school that had an online program. So I opted to go with National University. So I was able to finish that degree in a little over a year, and I finished all my thesis work while I was deployed in the combat zone. So that was an interesting experience. And because of that, though, now I was qualified to go out and try to pursue education, which is what I really wanted to do in the end.
It wasn't long until Mr. Madron and Sanford School crossed paths.
You know, to tell you the truth, I grew up in this area and I didn't know much about Sanford because it's tucked away on 41. You can't really, it was someplace that I didn't know that I could potentially have access to for me or for my kids or anything. So by happy coincidence, I happened to find out that there was a job opening here. And as soon as I came on campus and I kind of felt the atmosphere, I knew that this was a perfect place that I could complement in a way based on my personality and the academic freedom that's afforded here. I think my experience in the military really did change the way that I approach just dealing with people in general, but I've had the chance then, because the military is sort of a microcosm of all of the states in the Union, people from all different backgrounds, races, creeds, all that. And so I sort of figured out that most people are pretty much basically the same. They all want to know that you care about them. And it also means that you had to sort of intuitively figure out how you might adjust your education and teaching approach to meet the audience where they are. So I think having that broad experience is pretty applicable to any teaching.
Mr. Madron also has 2 kids that attend Sanford School.
I have a 6th grader and a 5th grader this year. So they've kind of transferred around to a bunch of different schools within the last 2 years because of our moves and all that stuff, transitioning careers. And I think they would probably tell you that this is probably the most welcoming school that they've attended so far. I mean, it just kind of fit right in. There wasn't some of that clickiness that you might see in some other kinds of places. I think they liked the freedom of being able to walk around campus to and from the cafeteria or to different classes. That it makes them feel like adults trust them and they have this sense of responsibility and all that I don't think they've gotten before. It's almost like part of their education is being responsible for themselves to a higher degree, you know. Plus the teachers that they have, and I don't think this is because I'm faculty, I think they do this with everybody. They're in such close contact with us about all the things that the kids are doing and learning, etc., that I've never seen that sort of personal approach before. So I try to emulate that with my students a bit because they're, you know, sort of mentoring me just through their actions. So yeah, they love it. It's a perfect place. We don't want to leave. It was a pretty easy decision once I'd gone through the interview process and they thought it might be a good fit. There was really no doubt in my mind. And then once the students came in and I got to meet them, that seals the deal.
Sanford News Network, Jacqueline Rosa reporting.